Well, first of all, thanks for inviting me. I'm glad to be here today. I'm going to present a project called Long May It Wave, and my name is Azahara Cerezo. I graduated in audiovisual communication in Barcelona, and I have recently completed a master in visual arts and multimedia, and now I'm doing the bachelor in sociology. As you may know, I come from Spain, which is a kind of curious country. We, and I say we, but obviously it's not entirely true, but it's useful in terms of introduction. So we like to gather to run the bulls. We also like to gather to walk and see the processions during the Holy Week. We also like to gather to dance some traditional music, and we also like to gather to celebrate football successes. And we also like to gather to claim for independence. That's what is happening nowadays in the region I come from, which is Catalonia, and also in the Basque Country in the north. They also like to gather in front of the Congress during special events. And some of these politicians are who decide to apply austerity measures to improve economy and forget the crisis. For example, the funding on research and development has been reduced 25%. But as you can imagine, some people in Spain took to the streets and gathered to protest. Another measure was to close emergency medical centers in some towns. And I'll tell you something, that's how the project began. Spanish people gather to protest, politicians gather to sort out the situation, and I just thought that it's easier going from Spanish flag to Spanish flag than going from emergency center to emergency center. That's obviously a simple thought, but I decided to give it a try. I started mapping the flags that wave outside public buildings in Madrid, or at least those which have been placed there by public powers. That's the first draft of the online map, which contains the flags, and what I want to do is to propose alternative touristic routes from flag to flag. I realized that doing this simple gesture, I was approaching some issues I'm interested in. The first of them is the tourism. If I camouflage the route as a touristic activity, I am touching one of the main income sources for Spain. And I'm also dealing with the flag as an homogenization and trying to approach these Foucaultian concepts of space, knowledge, and power. I was also focusing on the context, which made me want to explore the project, and that's something I expect to do in Ljubljana next December. And I'm saying context because, as you know, it's not the same to place a flag there than at the Gezi Park, than here in Cyprus. So that's Long May It Wave, and it will be formed by a website and documentation of the routes, leaflets, and the actions. That's one of the ways I'm trying to approach issues such as public space and also the economic and social situation. I'm going to explain briefly other projects so that you can see some of my work. For example, this is Actions in Between the Rescue. It's a project in collaboration with another artist called Maria Santa Maria, and it consists in wearing an armband with the word rescue and the European stars during the 2 months residency in Belfast, Northern Ireland. We see it as a dispersed day-to-day action in the city. We live as rescued people according to the situation of Spain and approaching the context of Belfast as well, which is more and more receiving rescued people from rescued countries. That's a small print, which is a reactive printer that, depending on users' movements, prints parts of Northern Irish text. And these texts have been translated by Google several times from English to Irish, and the result from Irish to English, and so on. So the printer starts to rewrite these texts, which are important to understand the situation and the conflict of Northern Ireland and the communities where they so separated, and so on. And finally, that's Commons on the Screen City. That's also a project in collaboration with Mario Santamaria, and what we do is to redirect LiveCam signals that are online, and we subtitle them with parts of text from architecture and text on space, the city, or the observer. So it's a visual essay that runs continuously 24 hours, and it will be shown at the Davis Foundation in Barcelona. So, I will end. I focus on social changes, social movements, urban forms, and the physical and virtual public space through reading and repetition strategies. I'm interested in that space from Perec, as maybe you know that author. That space that is a doubt, that space that I have constantly to market, designated. It's never mine, never given to me. I have to conquer it.